Good morning. How are you guys doing? So this is a very specific confirmation for someone. Okay. Um the Lord revealed a lot of things to me last night. I was in many prophetic dreams and I was able to witness many things. And I know that the Lord wanted me to observe because I had to deliver some words today. Okay, so this is something that already happened or is going to happen, but the Lord is confirming to you that you are a high value person. Okay, and although in the dream, the woman was the one that was the high value person, you could be a male watching this can still resonate with you, and you may be the high value person. Okay, so what I saw in this prophetic dream was I saw that there was this female and it looked like she elevated in life. Okay, like it looked like she's not where she used to be, and she knew her standards. Okay, she knew her standards, she knows her value. And I want to just say that high value doesn't necessarily mean money. High value, you become high value when you realize your value, you realize your standards, and you do things according to God's will. There's nothing higher than God. There's nothing higher than God's standards. Okay, so when you are doing things according to God's will and according to God's values, you are a high value man or high value woman, because there's nothing higher than God. Okay, so you basically are the bar. Okay, so basically what I saw was this woman. She was like, minding her business, living her life, and then there was this phone call that came in, and I knew right away, just based on observing her, that she was not too impressed by this phone call. And it was actually an ex. Okay, it was an ex-boyfriend, and the person that called her was talking to her about a date, wanted to go on a date with her. And you can tell that the male was still the same type of person that he was in the past, because one, the way he was speaking, he was talking to her like she was one of his bros. Like there was no respect in the conversation. You can tell by the way how he addressed himself, and just by looking at her face, I can literally see the annoying look she had on her face. Like she really did not want to even talk to him. Okay, now the phone was on speaker, so I was able to hear the conversation. And yeah, he basically, you can tell like he did not mature. He was still the same person, and she was just not having it. So he asked her if she was willing to meet up with him. Okay, and she basically only said yes because she just wanted to hear him out. And the way he was making it seem was like, regardless if she doesn't want to meet up with him or not, or she doesn't want to get back with him or not, he still has to meet with her because there's something that he needs to tell her. And it's some sort of closure. He needs closure or something like that. She was like, fine, I'll meet up with you. And she kind of like rolled her eyes. But the way she said it, the male on the phone knew that she was not interested, and he knew that she has moved on. Okay. Now, what I noticed was in the background when he was talking, I was hearing something going on. It was almost like school. Like you can tell that he was in a classroom, and you can tell that the teacher was talking in the background. There were students talking in the background. So you can tell that he was in class, and the teacher was talking to the students were answering questions. And my first reaction when I heard that was like, why is he calling in the middle of class? He should be focused on class. He should have called her after class and not while he's in the middle of class, right? It wasn't like there was a break or anything. You can tell that he was in the middle of class. He realized that she was not really interested. He realized she was only saying yes because she just wanted to get him out of her hair, and she just wanted to give him closure. She didn't want anything else to do with him, right? And instantly when she said, fine, I'll meet up with you, it's like he got mad. He had a bit of attitude, and then he just hung up the phone in her ear. He didn't say bye. He didn't say okay. He just hung up the phone in her ear. And right away, I was like, yeah, that just exposed like who he truly is, and exposed that he's still childish, and he's not a changed person. He's still childish. Plus the way he was speaking about himself, and the way he was speaking to her and talking to her like she was one of his bros. And there was like no respect. You can hear the childishness in his voice, right? And then the fact that he hung up the phone just confirmed like he's very like prideful, and very controlling. Like if he doesn't get his way, it's almost like he has an attitude. It's almost like a temper tantrum, right? So he hung up the phone in her ear, and after he hung up the phone in her ear, I heard God say something pertaining to like, know your value. And then God confirmed that she will be going on a date with the right person, like the right person that is for her. So God was confirming like he's gonna bring in the right man for her, and she's gonna go on a date with the right man. And right before the right man comes in, basically like this counterfeit tried to come back. This is an ex, right? So the right man could be an ex as well, but so you may be dealing with, you may have two exes, and one is the right person for you and the other one is still childish, but the other one's gonna try to come back before the real deal comes in, okay? Or if this is not an ex that God has for you, it's a new person, the ex will try to come back before God brings a new person in. But I heard God mentioning that the real person, the real man that's gonna come in that's for her, they're gonna go on a date together, and that she has high value. So the guy that hung up the phone knew that he couldn't persuade her, knew that. And here's the thing, it's almost like the guy on the phone was analyzing her energy and analyzing her response, her reaction, that he can tell that she wanted nothing to do with him. So the fact that he hung up the phone in her ear was very childish, you know, because she wasn't even rude to him. Like she said, fine, I'll meet up with you, and then he just hung up the phone in her ear. Whenever God is gonna send you the real person, there will be counterfeits that may come in, and there will be attempts from the enemy to try to lead you backwards. Now here's how I know that this was a test and this was a counterfeit trying to get you to go backwards in life, and not backwards as in like reconcile with someone that God wants you to be with, but backwards as in like going back on a path that God does not want you on. Here's how I know. Because one, he was in class and he wasn't paying attention in class. He picked up the phone to call her, okay, during class when he was supposed to be learning, when he could have called her after class. He had attitude. He hung up the phone on her. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then 4, you know, anything pertaining to like going backwards in life, especially backwards towards like a school, whether it be elementary school, high school, any type of schooling, going backwards in a dream, it's always a representation of like hindrance, right? Like something trying to hinder your growth, okay? Even like listening to his voice, I knew there was hindrance, and I knew that the intentions were not pure, and I knew it was a trap, right? But God confirmed at the end that there was someone else that was coming in that's the real deal, okay? So I want to confirm this to someone, okay? I don't know who this is for, but this is a direct confirmation, okay? Test the spirit and take this back to God to find out if this word is for you. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.